Losing properly is perhaps one of the most important objectives of the entire game of trading. You know, winners take care of themselves. For the most part, they actually do. They don't require the greatest amount of your skill. They don't require as much of your discipline. They don't call for your better self to show up. It's the losing side of the equation that causes you to have to rise to the occasion and do the difficult thing, to be the better self. The losing side of the equation is what reveals really who you are as a trader, how far you've come as a trader. I have said for many years that traders have a tendency to want to show me their winning trades. And while I do take a look at the winning trades, I am far more interested, far more fascinated by how the trader loses, because you're required to be at your best in the losing territory. Losing territory calls for all of your skills. Your highest self must show up to do it properly. The winning side of the occasion does not quite demand as much. You can be a little sloppy, and okay, so because of your sloppiness, you made a little bit less, but you made. You can be not as alert, not as sharp. Your best self is not called to the front line in winning territory. But every moment in negative territory, your best self is called on every moment to be present. You can't lose awareness. You can't lose your sharpness. You have to be more sharp. You can't become less alert. You have to become more alert. And so, if this is the case for traders, that you must rise to your higher self in losing territory, then it should go without being said that it is the experience of losing trades that help foster the higher self. That you literally lose your way to trading mastery at this game. And this is why I tell traders that you're supposed to lose in the beginning. You're supposed to be awful. You're supposed to be getting it wrong. This is where your stripes come from. This is where your growth comes from. The process of falling and then getting back up and falling and getting back up and tweaking and changing a little bit here and a little bit there, improving a little bit there, and then going through another period of falling and getting back up and falling and getting back up. This process is what I call dirty rag process. Your rag is dirty. Every time you fall or lose or go through a losing streak, it's like putting this dirty rag into a bucket of water with some cleaning agents in it. And then you pull the rag out, and it might be imperceptible to the eye at that particular moment, but it's a little bit cleaner just because you got up, just because you pull the rag out of the water. And then you go back in, you put the rag back in the water, you fall again, you lose again, but then you come back. You pull that rag out of the water again. And at that moment, it still might not be perceptible to the eye, but that rag's not the same. You are not the same. And this constant process of falling and getting back up and falling and getting back up, putting the rag in the water and pulling it back up, putting the rag in the water and pulling it back out. You keep that process going long enough, and one day you pull that rag out of the water, or you rise out of the ashes again, and that rag is crystal clean. That is the purification process. It doesn't go the other way. You don't get purified by winning at this game, because the winning side doesn't call for your higher self. And so when JT says I had 2 losing trades today that I executed perfectly or properly, that has more meaning to your growth than actually executing 2 profitable trades. In the grand scheme of things, it means more. So respect the losing side of the game. I mean, you want to be the loser in the beginning. You don't want to be the lucky winner in the beginning and then lose from a higher monetary position, because your fall is going to be harder and more difficult and more painful. You want to fall in the beginning. You want to fail at the beginning. You want to fall before you rise. You want to fall out of the basement window. You don't want luck to get you to the 17th floor and then you experience falling. The odds of you getting back up or even surviving the fall from the 17th floor, the odds are lower. So you want your falling to be before you're rising. You want your falling to be from the basement window. You want to scratch your knee. You want to bruise your leg a little bit. You don't want to completely annihilate your skeletal structure. You don't want to be completely obliterated by your falls. So, and this is the experience of some traders. They actually hit the market at a specific time where a rising tide raises all boats, and they mistake their boat rising for their skill, their ability. And how sad that scenario is. Because while that trader might be gaining monetarily, there is no true gain. And ultimately, the market will not only take that back, but the market has a tendency not to like giving profits to individuals who have not earned them. And so I really call those profits loans that are, and almost every time, paid back with a big giant interest or VIG. The art of losing is where your progress really soars. It is the focus on that side of the equation. We here do obviously both sides. You must, for me, know how to manage the winning side of the game as well. But it's the losing side that really catapults you faster and further into your journey toward trading mastery. Never forget that. Respect them. Love them. Your future wins are inside of your current losses. Crack them open and discover your future. All right.